This story is another Japan, hidden in the shadows of beautiful Japan. Do you know the name of this samurai? Miyamoto Musashi. 60 battles undefeated. One of the most famous samurai in the world. Yet behind this brilliant legend lay ruthless tactics and a lonely darkness. Today, we speak of his philosophical side and the cruel truths buried beneath the legend. Chapter 1. The Book of Five Rings. Discipline, when pursued to its limits, can transform a person entirely. That was the very state Miyamoto Musashi sought and achieved. A man who was not only the greatest swordsman in history, but also a master philosopher. In Musashi's The Book of Five Rings, he left behind a complete system for mastering discipline. 5 rings. They represent 5 principles that transform a person from softness to hardness, and ultimately into an extraordinary being. To know this is to gain the means to live with unimaginable discipline. The first ring, the Scroll of Earth. It is the ring that teaches you to know how far you must go. The Scroll of Earth is about thorough self-assessment. Many people believe they are working hard, but in reality, they are merely distracted. Musashi wrote, "A warrior should master both the pen and the sword. In other words, train both mind and body equally. But before that, you must know exactly where you stand now." After defeating Sasaki Kajiro in their duel, Musashi did not bask in victory. Instead, he shut himself in a cave for 2 years, continuing to study his weaknesses even as a victor. This is the mindset of the Scroll of Earth. In modern terms, take a man, let's call him Mike. He believed he was a productive person, but in reality, he woke up and immediately reached for his phone, checked emails, and was often late for work. During work, he kept 15 tabs open and jumped between tasks. His lunch break was 90 minutes on YouTube. The afternoon was no different. He returned home at 7 p.m., exhausted, yet having accomplished nothing. After tracking his actions minute by minute for a week, the results were 6 hours on his phone, 2 hours of focused work, 8 hours of busyness with no results. Musashi's teaching to know the small things and the big things means understanding both the details and the whole picture. Most people know neither. The truth taught by the Scroll of Earth is this: you are not busy, you are weak. You don't lack time, you lack focus. The answer is not to increase time, but to use every bit of the time you already have. That is the first step of the Scroll of Earth. The second ring, the Scroll of Water. The Scroll of Earth confronts you with reality. But when you try to face reality, resistance always comes. The Scroll of Water teaches how to overcome that resistance. Musashi wrote, "Water conforms to the shape of its vessel." Many interpret this as be flexible, but the true meaning is different. It means do not crush reality with imaginary plans. In his first 20 battles, Musashi never used the same weapon twice. Sword, spear, staff, bare hands. He learned that fixed methods do not work in reality. Adapt to reality, start small, and build steadily. The Scroll of Water teaches victory through flow, not brute force. The third ring, the Scroll of Fire. Fire spreads and changes everything. Most are consumed by anger, but a warrior turns it into the flame of training. Musashi lost his father at the age of 7. He turned his anger into 14 hours of daily training, endlessly swinging a wooden sword. He wrote, "Do not envy others for their good or evil. Jealousy is a waste of fuel. Turn anger toward your weakness." That is the Scroll of Fire. The fourth ring, the Scroll of Wind. When one begins to win, arrogance sets in. Even with 60 victories and no defeats, Musashi said, "I have yet to reach the way." The enemy is not others, but the self that thinks, "I have mastered it." That is why he kept learning from other schools and kept himself in the position of a student. The Scroll of Wind teaches the heart that continues learning even in victory. The fifth ring, the Scroll of Emptiness. Discipline never ends. Musashi taught, accept things as they are. The battle against laziness lasts a lifetime. When you accept that, the struggle ceases to be pain and becomes daily life. The Scroll of Emptiness is the final stage, turning discipline from action into being. These 5 rings build upon each other. Earth to know reality, water to move, fire to accelerate, wind to stay humble, and emptiness to continue forever. This is the essence of discipline left behind by Miyamoto Musashi. Chapter 2. The Dark Side of Miyamoto Musashi. Miyamoto Musashi has drawn intense global interest for his philosophical side. But where there is light, there is shadow. In this chapter, we look at the darkness behind the glorified image of Musashi. Ruthless and violent, Musashi was known to be short-tempered, stubborn, fierce-tempered, and violent. Behind the brilliant record of more than 60 undefeated duels lies the fact that he killed many people. In his youth, he roamed from school to school seeking fame, often injuring or killing his opponents without hesitation. In duels, he would mercilessly beat his opponents and sometimes kill them as a warning to others. It is said he would even cut down the young without hesitation, coldly taking lives if it meant victory. Unfeeling strategies and practices. Musashi was not one to stand on ceremony or fight fair. He used whatever means necessary to win. In his famous duel with Sasaki Kojiro on Ganryu Island, he deliberately arrived late to unnerve his opponent and used a wooden sword he did not normally employ. In the Book of 5 Rings, he even approves of deceptive tactics, follow-up strikes, and exploiting an opponent's carelessness methods that modern ethics might find questionable. Some military records and local legends compiled in the late Edo period suggest that the fight on Ganryu Island was not a pure one-on-one duel. It is said that on the way to Ganryu Island, Musashi brought disciples and allies in the boat and hid them behind cover on the island. During the fight, immediately after Musashi struck a decisive blow on Kojiro, the hidden allies rushed in and finished him off. In other words, the fight was not truly a one-on-one duel. While this theory has no definitive historical proof, it remains a popular story in Edo period storytelling and rumors. Isolation and rejection of relationships. Musashi remained unmarried throughout his life, forming no deep ties with masters or comrades, walking only his path. While some see this as freedom of spirit, it also reflects a lack of cooperation, rebellion against established order, and a lonely life. His extreme individualism, be true to yourself before others or society, at times led to a lack of empathy or compassion. For Musashi, winning and surviving took precedence over morality. The image of Musashi passed down through generations is often idealized, and the real man may have been far rougher, more ruthless, and more flawed. Conclusion. Yet Musashi's darkness was also a survival strategy for the harsh times he lived in. The early 17th century, when Musashi lived, was still unsettled in the aftermath of the Warring States period. Survival meant setting yourself apart through strength and cunning. This was the most valuable skill. A masterless Ronin could only wander the land, living by his skill. His means were duels and matches against other schools. And in those days, any trick or advantage was justified if it led to survival and victory. Without victory and fame, starvation awaited. Such a harsh reality shaped Musashi. The well-known ideals of loyalty, honor, and purity in Bushido were romanticized mainly in the Mid-Edo and Meiji periods. In Musashi's time, survival and pragmatism outweighed morality. His darkness and practicality were products of that historical context. Even in modern society, some realities cannot be overcome by the right way or pretty words alone. Musashi's philosophy and darkness remind us of the importance of facing reality with both severity and flexibility. That is why the world still speaks of Musashi, not as a perfect hero, but as a man who possessed both light and shadow. This is the true face of Miyamoto Musashi.